Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to podcast number 10. We have reached a handful of episodes and we could not have done it without your support. So, thank you. Thank you so much. And without any more delay, let me welcome Vani Surya Prakash, internationally certified life coach, soft skill trainer, and an image consultant. Welcome to episode number 10, Vani.
Hi, MJ. Very good evening. Good day to all. Thank you so much. And I'm really very happy, MJ, when you said 10th episode. It just feels like a milestone. Very, very happy to be part of the podcast. And it gives me pleasure, as always, in sharing whatever possible knowledge with this world.
Thank you so much for your contributions, Vani, and we are looking forward for many more episodes in the future. So let me just start with recap of what we have been speaking. The last episode, we started with the discussion of prioritization. So, Vani, we have started the topic of prioritization. It would be great if you tell us what prioritization means.
Definitely, MJC. Prioritization is nothing but a process by itself where people kind of tend to arrange either tasks, activities, or goals in a specific order, right? And this order in which they organize is all based on their relative aspects of importance, urgency, value, or impact. Let me always, as always, put it in a very layman term, right? I'll quickly quote a small example.
Okay.
Say, if I ask you, Jay, have you paid the EB bill? And is that an important activity for you or your family?
Yeah, definitely, yes.
Right. So paying the EB bill is definitely an important activity, right? However, I'm asking to you as on date, that is 25th of September, where your billing date or the last date for payment is only 15th of October. So is this still very urgent or important for you to get it done today?
Of
You
course
get
not.
the difference, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is still an important activity because EB bills are meant to be paid and we'll have to pay well in advance or before the last date of the bill cycle. However, having date till 15th of October, it is not something urgent for me to get it done today. So now when I have to prioritize a list of activities or work to do on 25th of September, I will have this as my least priority. I'll not even have it on the top 3-4 elements, right?
Yeah.
But all time permits, I'll do it, or else definitely any day before 15th of October is when I'll target it.
Okay.
And assume the same question comes to you on the 15th of morning.
Mm-hmm.
The importance doesn't change. It is still important. However, the urgency changes. It is definitely urgent for you to get paid by that day, or else
Correct.
somebody is going to come and take off your EB supply.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So this is how it varies, and this is why we have to consider all these factors before we prioritize a list of tasks. Not one single element can decide where it goes in the priority order. It needs to be considered with all the 4 factors: importance, urgency, value, and impact that it would create.
Okay, that's great. So basically, you have told us what prioritization means. Obviously, my next question will be, why is it so important?
Definitely. I mean, a what should always follow by a why, right?
Yeah.
So, see, the prioritization, it helps individuals or teams for that matter to make decisions about where or how or when they will have to direct their time, effort, energy, and resource. As simple as that. And why do we all have to channelize our time, effort, energy, or resource? Ultimately, we have to achieve an objective efficiently and effectively, right? And that's the sole purpose. And in order for me to know where should I channelize my energy right now, this prioritization is going to help. And we would have all heard about this phrase, again, coming to a layman term or a day-to-day conversation, right? Running around like a headless chicken.
Yeah, true.
It is an idiom which means to be very busy doing a lot of things, but in a way that is not very effective. That's the meaning of this idiom. And
Yeah.
and just think through, right? There are days where we all would have felt very busy throughout the day. And towards the end of the day, we feel so exhausted. And at the same time, we might say, what did I really achieve?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You will not have that sense of satisfaction that you have done something. So
Yeah.
if you are there in that situation, which means you have not accomplished your priority task, instead you are doing anything and everything other than the prioritized ones.
That's a funny way to describe the importance, but it's very effective. Next time I hear the phrase, definitely I will recall what you just said now. So now let me put the most important question of all. Will the prioritization remain the same for an individual at any point in time?
I would say definitely a no. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll also tell you the reason
Mm-hmm.
why it is a no. See, um, same. Let me go back and take the same example of EB bill, right? You
Mm-hmm.
have a 10-year-old kid, you have a 18-year-old teenager, or so. You have this 25-year-old adult,
Mm-hmm.
40 plus years old adult in the same roof. Now, whose priority is going to be the concern of paying the EB bill?
It depends.
It'll either be the 24-year adult, sorry,
Yeah,
25-year-old adult, or the 40-year-old adult, right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There might be impact for the 10-year-old and the 18-year-old because they are not able to watch TV, they are not able to use gadgets or whatnot. However, the concern of paying the bill is not a priority for those two people.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely a priority or a concern only for the 25-year-old and the 40-year-old in terms of payment.
Yeah.
Okay. So this answers to your question in terms of whether it will stay same. Definitely not. MJ,
Okay.
for that matter, when he was 10-year-old versus 18-year-old versus 30-year-old, his priority had kept changing, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Of course, 10-year-old would always say, I'll have to go out and then play cricket. I wanted to spend time with kids. I wanted to learn riding a cycle, or I wanted to go for race with my friends using cycle. That's how the 10-year-old would have been. That is what your priorities were.
Mm. Yeah.
Right? How our parents and adults would have said education is also one part of it, so let us prioritize that as well. That would have come.
True. Very true. Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
for an 18-year-old, of course, it's the peak of the teenage where you would have been in college, lot of things going through your life. You wouldn't bother anything about your scores. However, all you were thinking is, okay, I want a bike, I want a car. I wanted to learn these things from a very different aspect, not scoring per se. So having a girlfriend, maybe those would have been for few people, right? And
Mm.
again, that varies.
Okay.
Though MJ was an 18-year-old and then he had a friend who was 18 years old, neither of your priorities were the same.
True. Yeah.
MJ wouldn't have thought about a girlfriend. All he was more prioritizing was with respect to where do I get what kind of food and where do I try different food. Whereas his friend would have been more concerned about getting a girlfriend before he quits the college.
Yeah. Partially true. I agree.
So that's how the difference is. And then when you got into your job, and again, your priorities were not the same.
Mm-hmm.
You had a different priority. And
Correct.
here again, though you were a group of people who went into job who were of the same age group, you might have had peers, etc. But still, the priority of each person varied.
Okay. Mm.
And the
Got it.
same goes now as well. So, what is the priority of a 18 versus 80? And what is the priority of an 18 versus another 18 are completely different.
Got it. Got it. Understood. That was a lovely way of explaining, and I think you also answered the point to the point. So that's great. I think, folks, with this we have come to the end of today's podcast, and as you can see, we are now going in the Q&A format. And if you have any questions related to prioritization, feel free to drop them in the comments so that it will be answered by our star speaker Vani in the coming weeks.
Thank you for that, MJ. I'm very eager to face your questions, as every individual listening to this podcast will have their own perception of prioritization or experience of prioritization. So just close your eyes and think of a question that is pondering your thoughts and put it in the comment sections. I'll make sure to answer them. Thank you again for listening and looking forward for your challenging questions in the coming weeks. Thank you, MJ.
Well, you're most welcome, Ani. So, folks, the challenge is on. Make sure the questions are challenging, but again, stay within the prioritization boundary. As always, here comes this week's quote: success is not about doing more, it's about prioritizing what truly matters. With that quote and note, we come to the end of podcast number 10. Catch you again in 7 days' time. Till then, be good, do good, and stay good. Cheers.